if the focus of the strength block is to gain strength, what should the conditioning be like? So to explain the difference here, so we've got a strength block of training, kind of talked about this last time, focuses predominantly on building strength. We're still training other qualities as well, but the focus of that block is to build up strength while maintaining the other stuff. That is, if I can just get an image up as well, let me just see if I can do this. Let me just put that up as well. So if I can just take the question off for a moment, if I can do that, hopefully you can see that. So we've got in your training, we've got the resistance training, which is effectively the strength from strength and conditioning. The conditioning is the energy systems fitness, the endurance, if you like. That endurance is split into two things. There's general conditioning, which is more the central energy production. So that's kind of your heart really keeping up with the energy demands. It's the lungs and the heart, the cardiorespiratory system there to supply energy to the body. And then you've got the local conditioning, which is the muscles themselves using that energy once you've got it from the heart, pumped around the bloodstream and oxygenated blood to those muscles to contract. So normally when we're talking about conditioning, we're talking about the general conditioning most of the time. So what conditioning would go with a strength block? The best option for that, and if I can find another image that will help you kind of visualize all this. Where is it? Too many images. Okay, that one. Oh, that's come out quite small. Let me see it. So there's running from left to right there is kind of a complete fight camp. So we've got on the left-hand end there, mobility and movement. That's the first block that I have. Then we have the functional strength block. Then we have explosive power. And then we have that maximum speed just before a fight. And those descriptions really relate to the resistance training part of the training. We've also got conditioning running alongside that. So I've got, again, I'm not sure if you can see this, but we've got general conditioning and local conditioning, and that sort of shifts the emphasis as you go along. So further from a fight, if we're starting at that movement and mobility block, we're working more on aerobic capacity. So that's the lower intensity, longer duration stuff. And as we get closer to a fight, we shift more to an aerobic power, where we're looking to explode and do repeated sprints and the intensity is higher. Where we are with functional strength is we're more at that aerobic capacity, bordering into aerobic power. So we've still got some of the more steady duration stuff, but we are starting to work some low intensity intervals as well. But you don't want to do too higher intensity at that stage, because you're kind of getting the cart before the horse and you're wasting that adaptation that you need to save right before the fight. So you don't want to play your ace too early. So in a functional strength block, should be some of that steady state stuff. Many people believe that steady state can conflict with strength gains. But just to explain that, when I say steady state stuff, when we're talking longer duration, we're talking 30 minutes up to 60 minutes maximum, no longer than that. If you go longer than that, then you are going to basically limit the amount of strength and power that you can produce in that block. So that's a conflicting adaptation. We don't want those in the same block together. So as long as what you're doing is under 60 minutes, I typically have 30 minutes is what I do with most fighters. That's enough to get that eccentric cardiac hypertrophy I talked about in the last call, actually, the last live one, which is getting that left ventricle to stretch, that's building that volume that you can pump with each heartbeat. And then we're starting to edge into a little bit more higher intensity where we're getting the heart to pump harder. So that's what we should be doing in that strength block. That's the stuff that's going to help you out there. I just want to address as well the local conditioning. So that's what the muscles themselves are doing. That should be aerobic power and alactic capacity. So that's more that sort of strength, the strength side, but with more extended reps. Now, I personally, for fighters, don't tend to overdo the local conditioning. So if I just go back to, where is it? This slide here. So the local conditioning being that bottom one where the muscles themselves are kind of tolerating what's going on. I find that in Muay Thai sessions, most fighters are getting plenty of that. So, most Thai boxers would consider strength and conditioning a few bodyweight bits and pieces at the end of a session. and all the kind of endurance, local muscular endurance work that you're doing in a Muay Thai session, even if it's like multiple kicks and all stuff like that. So I don't tend to add more of that in strength and conditioning because it's already being handled. So we're looking to add things with your strength and conditioning that aren't being taken up elsewhere in your training program. So local conditioning, I tend to stay away from for the best part. There are some special cases, and I do have that in my programs, but most of the time I'm just focusing on general conditioning, and again, bringing adaptations that are going to actually move people forward and not be something that's just a repeat of what you're already getting. As always, if you can get the fitness adaptation from Muay Thai, then do Muay Thai. That's skill development as well.